What is up everyone, my name is Stoody and I'd like to welcome you all back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing my 2022 AFL All Australian Team. Now the 40 squad, the team of 40 players came out I believe yesterday, and obviously there's quite a few howlers in there and there's quite a few snubs. Now 3 players I believed were snubbed, 2 of them are in my best 22. But Nick Dacos is one who I think did get snubbed from at least the squad. I don't have him in my finishing 22, but I do believe he definitely deserved to be in the squad. And 3 of the absolute howlers that were in the squad. Callum Wilkie, I don't understand how he could be in the squad. I don't know what he's done that's been outstanding or even deserving of being recognised. There's Chad Warner, who is an okay player and he'll probably be a star in the future, but he's definitely not All-Australian right now. I don't understand why he'd even be considered. And the other one, by far the worst out of all of them, Brennan Cox. Brennan Cox is literally just an average player. Do they just pull him out of their arse or some shit? Who knows, but you'd think these 3 howlers won't actually make the best 22. But if you notice in previous years, there's always a few howlers, and most of the time, like 75% of the howlers end up actually getting into the best 22. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but we'll wait and see when it comes to the night it gets announced. I'm not sure when it gets announced. It might be tonight or tomorrow night. I believe it's usually the Tuesday or Wednesday after the last round. So we'll just wait and see. Maybe it's next week, but who knows. But this is my team now. Most of these players are in the 40 squad, except for 2. I've only got 2 that aren't in the squad that I think should be in the best 22 and that I have in the best 22. So I'm going to start off with the fullback line. I'm going to do a brief explanation for each player once I've named them. So I'm going to give you the names right now. Sam Docherty, Jacob Wiedering, and Jordan Dawson. Now you know what 2 players that weren't in the squad are in the team because I just announced 2 of them. Sam Docherty, not in the squad somehow, definitely should be, and he's in my best 22. A really good year, obviously came back from the cancer that he had and played really well. We all know that back in the day, before he did his 2 ACLs, he was definitely the best small, medium defender in the league. And he's come back pretty close to career best form. Maybe not right at his peak, but he's definitely come back really good this year. And, I reckon maybe even the best small/medium defender this year as well. So he's been outstanding and should be in the team. I don't understand how he got snubbed. I've got Jacob Wiedering. Obviously, he's very important for Carlton. Arguably one of the best key defenders in the game. He did start off his career slowly. It looked like he was going to be a bust over the last couple of years. He's really got his shit together and he's now a really good defender that we all expected him to be. And Jordan Dawson, he's come over from Sydney to the Crows. He was a very average player up until he went to the Crows. I guess he just needed that opportunity. And he got it, and he's one of the Crows' best players already. So he was very impressive and definitely does deserve to be in the best 22. I don't understand why he's not in the squad either. We are now going to go on to the halfback line. Alright, so I've got Danny Rioli, James Sicily, and Jack Sinclair. Now, Danny Rioli has had a breakout season this year. Playing on the halfback line, he's able to sneak forward, kick some goals, and get a bunch of possessions as well. He had a lot of games where he got like 25 possessions, 2 goals playing from the halfback flank. He just knows how to kick goals, and just him going to the halfback line has really reinvented himself because things were looking pretty bland when he was in the forward line. He just wasn't getting much of the ball. He ended up getting dropped, and then Dimmer put him in the back line in the VFL to see how he goes, and he went really good. So he came back into the AFL. He's been really good ever since. A very good season this year. Definitely deserves to be in the team. James Sicily coming back from an ACL, and he's just come back to his best, hasn't he? In my opinion, I think he's the best key defender in the game, especially this year. I think he does do better than Wiedering for this year. Him 1, Wiedering 2. He's just very, very aggressive, fierce competitor. He gets a heap of disposals as a key defender. Really good intercept marker. You know, he's definitely been one of the best defenders this year. He did start off kind of averagely, but really worked his way into the season. And yeah, he definitely deserves his spot. And as of Jack Sinclair, he wasn't really that good before this year, but then this year he's really broken out. He gets a lot of disposals on the halfback line, takes a lot of intercept marks. He's just a gun, really, and he even got tagged a couple of times because he was so good. So, yeah, he's definitely deserving of being in the team, one of the better halfback flankers in the league. I'm now going to go to the centre line. I've got Andrew Brayshaw, that's the Fremantle Brayshaw, Clayton Oliver, and Callum Mills. Andrew Brayshaw, obviously a really good young player for the Dockers. He's always getting the ball. You know, he could be a future Brownlow medalist. He gets the ball a lot. It's really important to the Dockers midfield. He might be their best player now. Arguably, he's their best player. And he definitely deserves to be in this team. He just keeps getting better and better every year. And this year definitely went to another level. As for Oliver, we all know what he's about. He's just an inside ball. He dominates games. He can get 40-plus disposals all the time. The bloke's just a beast. What else can I say, really? Callum Mills, last year he got moved into the midfield, and boy, has it been good for him because he's really broken out the last couple of years. This year, there were times where he was just an absolute beast, you know, scoring 200s in Supercoach and everything like that. You just had to bring him into your Supercoach. He's quickly becoming one of the best players in the league, and you're definitely deserving of his spot. Half forward line, I've got Shea Bolton, Charlie Curnow, and Christian Petrarca. Shea Bolton, this bloke in the next few years could be the best player in the league. He's kind of similar to Dustin Martin, except he's probably a lot more athletic, quicker than Dustin Martin, where Martin's more stronger. He's able to, you know, do the don't argue. Whereas Shea Bolton, he probably use his speed and agility to get away from his opponents. And I watched him live this year against the Gold Coast Suns, and boy, is he just a gun. He was so exciting to watch. He can take marks from ridiculous positions. He can kick goals from ridiculous positions. If he's able to be more accurate kicking for goal, he's going to go to the next level. This is a potential future Brownlow medalist right here. Charlie Curnow, he's won the common medal, 66 goals. You just can't argue with that. Anyone who wins the common medal, I think, deserves to be the key forward position in the All Australian team. Even though he definitely wouldn't have won had of Tom Lynch not get injured, maybe I've just given away who the full forward is. He probably wouldn't be in the team, but he did kick the most amount of goals than anyone. He is a very good key forward, one of the better ones in the league. He's still pretty young as well, so a lot of years left in him. He has had a lot of trouble with injuries. Imagine if he didn't get injured. Imagine how good he'd be right now if he didn't get interrupted with injuries. So, yeah, the bloke's just a gun and definitely deserving of being in the side. As a Petrarca, the guy's just a beast. You know, he can play inside mid. He can go forward and kick goals. He's a bit like Dusty, not quite as good as Dusty, but a bit like him. He is a Norm Smith medalist as well. He won it last year, and he was pretty good this year again. He's able to get a shitload of possessions, kick a few goals. You know, he's just a guy anyone would want in their side. He's one of the better players in the league at this point. He's just a little bit inconsistent. If he can do this consistently, he can definitely win a Brownlow medal and potentially be the best player in the league. So, definitely deserving. I'm going to move on to the full forward line. I have Marcus Bontempelli, Tom Lynch, and Josh Dunkley. So Marcus Bontempelli obviously should have won the Brownlow last year, but got robbed. Ollie Wines winning the Brownlow, what a joke. This year's Brownlow is going to be another joke, and the person who's probably going to win the Brownlow isn't even in this team. But Bontempelli, he's like 190 something centimetres. He can play midfield, get a ton of touches, go forward, kick some goals. You know, he's just such a damaging player. One of the better players in the league. He's similar to Petrarca, except taller. The Dogs have such a stacked midfield. He can play anywhere. So he's just a very valuable player. I've got him in the forward line because there's always a lot of midfielders deserving of being in the All Australian, but not enough small forwards. I don't have any actual small forwards. Shea Bolton, you could argue, but he's a mid/forward. Everyone's a mid/forward that are small forwards in this team. As of Tom Lynch, he definitely would have won the Coleman had he have not got injured. He's kicked 60 goals. He kicked, I think it was 62 goals off of 18 games, I believe. So if he had to play the extra 4 games, he would have definitely been in the 70s. He had a lot of big hauls as well. 7 goals against the West Coast Eagles. The very next week, he kicked 6 against Collingwood. And then, just 2 weeks ago against the Hawks, he kicked 8. Last week, he kicked 5. He was goalless in the first half. He kicked 5 in the second half, then came off with that groin issue. The bloke can kick goals in such quick succession. He can kick 5 in a quarter and completely destroy your team. He's definitely the best forward in the league right now, just because of how quickly he can completely turn a game around. He can kick so many goals so quick. He does have issues kicking for goal from short range. He can be a bit like a Travis Cloke / Matthew Richardson / Max King, but he has been more accurate as of late. Obviously, his confidence is way up. So, Tom Lynch, best key forward in the league right now. Josh Dunkley, the bloke can play anyway. I'm pretty sure he started his career down back, then moved into the midfield. Now he's in the forward line. He's just so versatile. And in the forward line, he's able to kick a few goals. He still gets a ton of touches because he can rotate from in the midfield and forward line. Bloke's just an absolute beast. And he's just deserving of being in the team. That's why I've got him in. Moving on to the followers now, we have Jared Witts, Rory Laird, and Tuke Miller. Now, Jared Witts has definitely been the best ruckman so far this year. Obviously, a lot of ruckmen have struggled a bit. They've either had a form slump or injuries. But Jared Witts, I think, has been the most consistent and best throughout the year. That's why I have him as the starting ruck. He's come back from an ACL as well, so super impressive. Rory Laird, in my opinion, should win the Brownlow. Definitely been the best player this year. But I know he won't because he plays for the Crows. He's not like a household name. For some reason, he should be because the bloke's a superstar. But this guy, he's just super consistent. Consistently getting a ton of touches. Just such a damaging player and severely underrated. Criminally underrated. Tuke Miller, he carries a Suns team. Well, the Suns, they're not super bad anymore, but he carried them throughout years where they were really bad. And he's got some help now, but still, bloke's a gun. He's one of the better midfielders in the league. And he's one of the main reasons why the Suns have risen, obviously. They've got some decent young players now to help him, but he's a big part of it. We're going to go ahead and have a look at the interchange bench now. I have Sean Darcy, Jack McRae, Josh Kelly, and Isaac Heaney. So Sean Darcy, I think he's definitely second to Witts in terms of how well he went as a ruckman this year. He just wasn't quite consistent. He started the season kind of slowly, but when he's on, he's really on. But when he's not on, he can be really bad as well. So if you just close the gap between his best and his worst, he can definitely be the best ruckman in the competition next year, year after. Jack McRae, he was a bit down this year, but still, he started the season well enough for me to put him in the team. At the start of the year, he probably would have been the captain of this team, but he did drop off. But hopefully for him, he can bounce back again in the finals or next year. Josh Kelly had a really good year for the Giants. He's been a bit hot and cold his career. He gets injuries every now and then, which is frustrating when you have him in Supercoach or just for any Giants fans. Well, none of you are Giants fans anyway. But the guy, he's a gun. And to round it out, Isaac Heaney. I had a little bit of trouble thinking about who I should put as my last spot. I did Heaney because he's been pretty consistent this year. Obviously, his last few years, he's struggled a bit. But this year, he's found a way. He either gets a lot of disposals or kicks a few goals. Bloke's good. He's a gun. All right, now I guess that's it for the whole entire team. I'm now going to announce who my captain, vice captain, and coach will be. Now, I've decided to make Rory Laird the captain. I just think he's been the best player all year, and I think he should win the Brownlow. So I'm going to make him the captain because, best player all year, deserves to get the captaincy. Vice captain, I'm going to have Tom Lynch. Obviously, best key forward in the league this year. He's completely dominated. Definitely does deserve to be the vice captain. And I've got the coach. Now, the coach will be Craig McRae. He's been very impressive as a coach this year. If Collingwood still had Buckley, there's no way they'd be going as good as they are. Obviously, McRae's come in. He's got a new game plan, kind of Richmond's game plan. He's kind of stole off Richmond because he is from Richmond. And obviously, he's kind of reinvented this whole Collingwood team. And they have definitely performed way better than their talent suggests. So, yeah, well done to him. And he definitely does deserve to be the coach of the All Australian team. So that's it for this video. People have asked, am I going to bring back the Thugs? Am I going to bring back the Spuds teams? I don't know if I really want to bring them back. I just don't see the point anymore. They didn't really get that many views last year, and I don't think so the year before either. And I feel like all the hype around that has really died down over the previous couple of years, so I'm not going to bother this year. I have other videos planned that I'd rather do and that I think will get more views anyway. So yeah, let's just wrap this up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more epic content like this. Be sure to click that thumbs up button and leave a like on this video. Be sure to join my Discord server. It is called Australian Sports Community. Link to that will be in the description. Building a very good community there. Almost 70 members already. And I also have Instagram. So be sure to follow that. It is called Stoody YT. Link to that will also be in the description. I hope you all had a good day. And I'll see you all in the next video.